welcome to my channel. I feel like I might come under fire for this because this is going to be a really unpopular opinion, but I got to page like 100 of this book and I knew that the most use I was going to get out of having spent money on this was going to be ranting about it. So in case you couldn't tell by the title, today we're going to be talking about Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. So this is a book about identical twins, Kath and Ren, who go to college, and it's just kind of a coming-of-age story, mostly for Kath, who's the main character. And I don't like Kath. That's what I'm going to be talking about. There were some other things in here that I didn't like, just how Rainbow Rowell handled them. Just like the college situation felt weird to me, like registering for classes and professors being over lenient with their grading and things like that. Didn't feel super realistic to me. There's also a couple of times characters end up in the hospital, and I can tell that like someone ends up in the hospital for alcohol poisoning. We'll touch on that later. But I can tell that like Rainbow Rowell doesn't know what alcohol poisoning is, and that she doesn't know how things work in a hospital. But skimming over that, let's get into why I don't like Kath, because that's the main reason this book was a flop for me. So right off the bat, page 7, Kath has assumed that her and Ren are going to be rooming together in college and gets upset and cries. That's going to be this whole video. Kath gets upset and cries. Get used to hearing me say that. Kath gets upset and cries because Ren doesn't want to room with her. She wants to try new things. And Kath is horrified of meeting new people and having any friends. Page 17. This is the day after move-in day. Kath's roommate Reagan has a boyfriend, Levi. He shows up outside the room, and Kath doesn't let him in because she says the situation is too rapey. And yeah, she makes him sit outside in the hallway while she sits in the room with the door, like, closed and locked. 39. So Kath has not gone to the dining hall to eat. She's living off protein bars. This is probably a good 2 weeks into school. And her roommate Reagan is like, come on, I'm going to take you to the dining hall, when she finds out that this has been going on. Kath gets upset and cries that Reagan is making her go to the dining hall and eat. This was something that was almost relatable. Like, I know my first week of college, there were meals that I skipped because I didn't have anyone to go with and I was scared about going by myself. But if anyone would have asked me to go, I'd be like, oh my God, yes, let's go now. And I just think it's really stupid that Kath is so upset that Reagan is taking her to the dining hall when I feel like that was the solution to her problem of being afraid to go to the dining hall. Page 95, Kath is their dad is bipolar, and I feel like Kath is way too invested in taking care of him, and it's never really focused on that it's not fair for the expectation to be so much that Kath takes care of him. He says a couple of times that it shouldn't be her job, that she should live her life, but I feel like that's a bigger issue than the book makes it out to be, that Kath is 18 and feels so much responsibility for taking care of her mentally ill father. Page 1, chapter 11, page 106. This was when I knew I was going to film a rant review about this book. Kath turns in fan fiction in a junior level creative writing class that she has special permission to be in. And she gets an F on that paper. And then she gets upset and cries that the professor says that it's plagiarism. Like, she doesn't understand why it's not okay that she turned in fan fiction in her college course. And I thought that was just completely moronic on her part. And she deserved that F, honestly. 118. So Ren is going out like drinking and partying, and Ren doesn't approve of it. And one time it ends up being like a hot mess. But it's not because Ren is so drunk. It's because like there are other guys that like aren't even with Ren, but they're really drunk and like cause a scene. And Kath tries to make Ren go home because Ren is drunk, and she's like, no, I'm gonna stay out and party. And I feel like Kath, like, that's not the only circumstance of like Kath being like way too controlling and not understanding that like Ren wants to go out and party, and that can be okay. 143, I'm just gonna read this real quick. So Kath has some friends in class, but none of these friendships she doesn't hang out with these people outside of class. No one ever invited Kath to go out or to parties. Meanwhile, Rin's social calendar was so crowded, Kath felt like even calling her sister was an interruption. Kath had thought they were over the bar-tastrophe, but Rin was acting even more irritable and remote than she'd been at the start of the year. When Kath did try to call, Rin was always on her way out, and she wouldn't tell Kath where she was going. "I don't need you to show up with a stomach pump," Rin said. And that's another thing. I just think it's unfair of Kath to expect Rin to live her life the way Kath is choosing to live her life. Like she doesn't want her to have friends because she doesn't have friends. 161, Kath gets upset because her dad tells her that her dad, and Rin have reconnected with her mom, and she gets upset and cries because she's so hurt that they're talking to this woman again. 180, chapter 16. This was where another part where I just really hated Kath. So at this point, Levi and Reagan have broken up, but Kath doesn't know that they're broken up. And now, like, her and Levi are kind of friends, and they were hanging out, and they end up kissing. So Kath gets upset and cries because Reagan walks in, and they're, like, asleep in the bed together. And Kath gets upset and cries because she thinks that Levi has cheated on Reagan with her. And Reagan ends up being like, "It's okay, we weren't really together, you just thought we were, and it doesn't matter." And I would be mad. Like, the point isn't whether or not they were together, the point is that Kath thought they were, and she kissed him anyway, and that's not okay. So, their dad ends up in a mental hospital for, like, his bipolar disorder. He kind of has a breakdown. Kath decides to miss her finals, because this is like right before Christmas. It's final season, and because she wants to be with her dad. And Rin decides to stay at college and finish her finals because she's like, "Dad's really drugged. She doesn't know that we're there right now. I need to get my finals out of the way." And Kath gets mad that Rin made that decision. And then she's also like, Rin has to make her email her professors to let them know that she's going to be missing finals. Like, okay, I understand, like, both sides. I understand, like, prioritizing, like, finishing finals because he won't even know if I'm there. And I understand, like, I want to be with him no matter what. But if you're going to choose to miss finals, you have to email your professors or you're going to fail your first semester of college. Like, that should be obvious. This is another thing that I want to read out loud. So this is over Christmas break. "I won't be here tomorrow night," Rin says. "That's when Laura's family celebrates Christmas." Laura's their mom. "You could come, you know." Kath snorted. "What? I'm not arguing with you. I assumed you were doing something with her this week." "I can't believe you're making me do this alone." "Making you? I'm not making you do anything. I can't believe you're even doing this. You know how much I hate it." "Oh, you hate everything. You hate change. If I didn't drag you along behind me, you'd never get anywhere." "Well, you're not dragging me anywhere tomorrow, or anywhere from now on. You are hereby released of all responsibility." "That's not what I meant, Kath. I meant we should be doing this together." "Why this? You're the one who keeps reminding me that we're two separate people, that we don't have to do all the same things all the time. So fine, you can go have a relationship with the parent who abandoned us, and I'll stay here and take care of the one who picked up the pieces." "Can you stop being so melodramatic for just 5 minutes, please?" "No, this isn't melodrama. This is actual drama. She left us in the most dramatic way possible. On September 11th. After September 11th. Details. She left us. She broke Dad's heart and maybe his brain, and she left us. She feels terrible about it, Kath." "Good, so do I. I'm probably going to be crazy for the rest of my life, thanks to her. I'm going to keep making bad decisions and doing weird things that I don't even realize are weird. People are going to feel sorry for me, and I won't ever have any normal relationships, and it's always going to be because I didn't have a mother. Always. That's the ultimate kind of broken, the kind of damage you never recover from. I hope she feels terrible. I hope she never forgives herself." And it goes on after that, but I really just want to stop there. You get the point. 239, Christmas. Their mom gets Rin and Kath matching necklaces. Kath gets upset, cries, hides in her room because her mom got her Christmas present. 242, Kath doesn't fit in at college, surprisingly enough, since she's been working the first 2/3 of the books to not make any friends, and she tries to drop out. Her dad doesn't let her. She gets upset and cries. 260, she didn't turn in a final paper for that writing class, and she didn't email her professor that she wasn't going to turn her in, and then that she wasn't going to turn it in, And then the professor gives her the rest of the spring semester to turn it in to get a grade on a course in the fall. Rin ends up in the hospital for alcohol poisoning. This situation makes no sense medically, just so you know. Laura, their mom, is there. Kath gets mad, and Kath gets upset and cries because her mom didn't try harder to reach out to her, even though this whole time she's been saying she doesn't want to talk to her mom. After that, the family's reaction to Rin drinking, I feel, is weird. I won't get into it, but that's a plot point that I don't feel was handled well or wrapped up to my satisfaction at the end of the book. At this point, Kath and Levi are dating, and she actually becomes a lot more bearable after that happens. So the last thing I want to mention, at the end of the spring semester, Kath has still not turned in the final paper for that creative writing class. Her boyfriend Levi gets mad at her because he's like, I struggle to make good grades. You've been given this amazing second chance to still make a good grade in an upper level course, and you're just throwing it out because she's focusing on writing her fan fiction now and doesn't feel like she has the time or energy to write this. And Kath gets upset and cries that he would tell her that. And then things end up wrapping up too well. She turns it in and she gets an A and in the class, and the story she ends up writing gets published. Her and Levi are happy together. Her and Rin fix their relationship. They're their mom isn't really part of their lives, but they're at least calm, cool about it now, I guess. And their dad, I guess, is doing okay. Anyway, I don't recommend this book. It wasn't, I read it quickly, but it was not enjoyable. I didn't really I feel like the other characters were bearable, but Kath is the main one, and she just sucked so much that I couldn't really enjoy the story. But anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Bye!